Well, it's been a while since I've done any type of video post, but the reason why I'm doing it today is because it's kind of in response to a lot of emails and texts and Facebook messages and even phone calls regarding today's Form First workout. Now, before I go on, I should explain that we are going to use that tool, I think, on a permanent basis. I think that hashtag looking symbol that we use today was pretty effective in mainstreaming everybody's movements, especially for things like the V-step and the mountain climbers. It really did a good job for us trainers being able to make sure that everybody's doing it kind of the right way and making sure that everybody does it kind of the exact same way. But we're going to put something together that's a little bit, I guess, a little bit more pleasing to the eye rather than just tape on the ground. We'll probably end up doing some form of painted lines on the ground. So within the next couple of weeks, expect to see those in the end zones. But the big thing is a lot of the responses I'm getting from today's workout, some of them were positive and some of them were negative. And the first thing I got to say is that just by the sheer response I got from people, I think that's a good thing. Whether or not your input was from a positive standpoint or a negative standpoint, I think it's important that we're hearing that kind of feedback, because it means that you take your workout so seriously that you're bringing it home with you, that you're thinking about it outside of the moments that when you're at the gym. So it's really important to me to see that you guys care enough about it to voice your opinion on how you think things are going. And I like how our gym kind of creates the culture and the environment that you feel like you're kind of in this together, kind of making decisions with us. So I think that's the first and maybe most important thing I want to acknowledge. But the other thing is I want to kind of explain how it kind of comes from the trainer's point of view. One of the things I really try to teach my trainers and my staff is to kind of let our workouts happen organically, and I really want to make sure that we do not get on you guys too much for form. We need to let things happen kind of naturally. And so the biggest point of Cyphus training and our trainers is we want you guys to work out consistently. We want you to have good form, but we don't want to harp on you so much and make sure that your form is absolutely so perfect that pretty much we're either yelling at you the whole time or we're pointing it out to you that you're doing something wrong the entire time. Because, you know, I know that we're going to lose members if we're going to keep yelling at you that you're doing something wrong. The nature of our workouts is so difficult that I know that the last thing you want to hear when you're doing something like a reverse interim like you did today, possibly 4 times, is that you're doing the exercise wrong. So what I've done with my trainers, and they'll tell you this too, is that I'll have them tell you that maybe you're doing something wrong or the form's not correct once, and then maybe a second time after that. But after that, they're pretty much going to let you go, because when it comes down to it, if you don't want to do the exercises right, the only person you're going to be cheating is yourself. Okay? And you know what? I said this to somebody today, that if you're giving at least 75% effort, chances are that effort you're giving is 100 times better than somebody who is not doing Cyphus training or who's not working out at all. So you should be applauded just for walking in the door and doing the exercises. But having said that, you do need to pride yourself on form. Do it to the best of your ability. Maybe that's not exactly how the best person's form is going to be. That's fine. But do it the best way you can. And from the trainer's point of view, we would really appreciate if we got a little bit of respect. And I'm not saying we're not being respected, but we're coming from the standpoint, we're coming from a place of trying to make you do those exercises how they were intended. We don't like to see them sped up or done them just in the name for getting a higher score. You're going to get a lot more out of the exercises if you just take your time and do them right. And something I do too, and it's really easy for me to get caught up in the scores because we're all competitive, really. If you're doing Cyphus, you're a competitive person. But I try to have blinders on as much as possible. Now, I'm a trainer, so I probably am looking off to the side. If somebody's not doing something the right way, I'll probably call it out quicker than most. But I just try to have tunnel vision and really just focus on what I'm doing. And I know the score range of where I want to get. I don't really care how somebody else does. I just focus on the task at hand. I know that's a pun, but I focus on what I'm doing at that moment. I try not to look at anything else around me because that can derail your whole workout. If you feel like you're trying to keep pace with the person next to you or somebody who's usually behind you or ahead of you, that takes so much out of it. You need to listen to your body, how your body responds to the workout and the exercise you're doing, and then push yourself to the limit that you're comfortable with. And I think by doing that, you're more in tune with your body, and you'll be able to score maybe the numbers that you're used to, rather than just trying to kind of feed off the person next to you. It's one thing to be motivated by the people next to you. It's another thing to try to just keep up for the sake of keeping up. But yeah, so the biggest thing is, again, I'll review a little bit, is we want you to be consistent with your workouts while maintaining the best form that you can. And we really hope that our staff does a good job of not ticking people off. We don't want you to be upset that we're getting on you. The only reason why we're doing it is because we want to see you grow. We want to see you get better. And we really hope that by doing these form first workouts, all we're doing is just kind of hitting the reset button and say, okay, we need to focus on these exercises. And we hope that you remember doing these form first movements throughout your training. So you'll notice we only do these form first focused workouts maybe once a month. And that shouldn't fade 4 weeks from now. You should remember the things that we're working on, which is why I think we're going to use this tool that we use today on a more permanent basis. But I really just hope that people understand where the trainers are coming from. We just want to see you do your best, and we want to see you do your best on the Cyphus turf.